So the first card you have for your past is the Hanged Man. So obviously this is the card of hanging around, waiting. I'm seeing a lot of frustration in this card as well. I don't normally see that, but I am seeing that. I think this is probably about someone who is sitting around, not doing anything, and you wanted them to hurry up and do something that you thought was the right thing for you to do. I'm seeing that, there was something that you really, really wanted to do. You wanted to, I think this might be about movement or traveling or something like that. It was this decision that you had in your mind that you said to yourself, I think this is going to be fantastic. This is a really good idea. We need to do this. We need to move on this. But you needed agreement from someone else. You needed someone else to say yes to this. And you were trying to talk to them about this. You were trying to say, this is a great idea. This is what we should do. But they weren't moving. Now, I'm not seeing this person saying no to you outright, but they're kind of just being quite stubborn. They're just sitting there saying, or they were just sitting there saying, no, no, no. Now, this was very stressful for you because this was something that you really, really, truly wanted so much. I'm really seeing this. And so you were saying to them, look, you're not seeing things properly. I can see things the right way. You're upside down. You weren't obviously saying that to them, but it was like you could see they were seeing things from upside down and you were seeing things from the right way. And you were trying to convince them to do this thing or to move or to make this move. I keep on seeing moving, so it's something about moving or getting, moving away or moving to a new place or something. But this person was not doing that. And you could see if you made this move or did this thing, that new opportunities would come. I mean, look at all these beautiful green leaves on this tree. You could see new things would grow, great things would happen, a lot of problems would be solved. But this person was just saying, oh, I don't know, I don't think so. And they're the kind of person who doesn't like to move. They kind of like to stick in their old ways and kind of do their routine. But you could see this change was the best thing for them. And I think you were even saying, look, I'll do all the hard work. I'll move. I'll do this. I'll do that. Like, I don't know. So this is this kind of frustrating conversation that you were having with this person. And it might have been someone who you're in a relationship with, but I think it probably was. So the next card you have for your past is the Star. So, yeah, you had hope, even though this person was still frustrating you. This is something you really, 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 really wanted. They weren't moving, but you had hope, like this Star. Now, again, I'm seeing this might be about moving. You wanted to move closer to someone else, because I'm looking at this Star and it's making me think of that Christmas story. You know, when the wise men travel toward the star. You want to travel toward wherever you really want to go. Now, that might be physically moving. You might be wanting to travel to a new place or move, and this person's kind of, oh, I don't know. Or it might be some other kind of move or something else. Might not be a physical move. It might be, I don't know, moving toward something else. I don't know. But I mean, I am seeing it probably, it might be physical travel, but it's something that you want to move away from and something that you want to move to. You want to move out of an old situation. And with this person, you want to take this person with you in the Hanged Man, and you want to move into a new situation or a new place, but they're sitting around going, oh, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. So, you know, this card, this Star card as well, is about balance, because she's kind of balancing between the earth and the water. She's balancing her, between her head and her heart and her emotions and that kind of thing. And that's what you had to do, because you wanted this so much, and you had to try and kind of balance your emotions on this. And also this is about getting balance between you and this person. I think you might, you started off with this person, oh, this is a good idea, you should do this, please can you move, and all of this. And it might have turned into kind of, I want my way, they want their way kind of thing. And you don't want to get into that kind of extreme thinking with that person. So you might have had to have kind of found some balance between that, find some common ground, come together, that kind of thing. And this might still be something you still have to do. Obviously, you're still kind of in this, I think, and you're still kind of wanting them to do this. And I think this might be still ongoing now. I hope this all makes sense. This is quite confusing, but I'm trying to tell you what I'm seeing. So the last card you have, your past, is the Sun. So yes, this is a beautiful card, obviously. So I'm seeing, there's a lot of innocence in this. There's this beautiful child and there's a white horse. So you weren't trying to manipulate them. It wasn't like you were trying to say, I want this, I want you to do what I say. You could see the benefits of whatever this traveling or this thing was. You could see it was going to benefit this person as well as you, and benefit so many different things and open up so many different things. And they just weren't seeing this. And I'm seeing you're also loyal to this person. So you're not going to move on from this person. You're not going to offer them any ultimatums or say, if you don't do this, I'll leave you. It's not going to be like that. You care for them. You love this person. This is probably a relationship. So, you don't want to move on from them, but you still have this struggle with them that you think that they should listen to what this thing is, this thing that's very important to you. The other thing I'm seeing in this card is that I'm seeing a few other things in this card. You have something else that you want to pursue, and this makes you feel really happy, and you're very passionate about that with that beautiful red cloth, which means passion. So you have a lot of passion for this thing that you want to do, and this might be a reminder to you to kind of concentrate on that and not spend all of your time worrying about this issue. The other thing I'm seeing in this card is that you had a very, very close friend, a very good friend who loves you, cares about you. You feel very positive around them. You feel very comfortable around them. You can be yourself. You don't have to hide. You don't have to pretend to be anything else. Because look at this little child. This child is naked. So this child is not pretending to be anything else. They're free. You can be free around this friend. This is someone who you have been talking to about this, and I think this is someone who you should really continue to talk about this and kind of get another opinion on all of this. But this person can really help you with this thing. And also, this is the sort of person that can give you some relief from this. You can have a joke with them. You can just have fun with them. This is the Sun, so you can just have fun times with this person and not be so stressed over this. That's what I'm seeing. So yes, talk to this friend. I am seeing someone else around this friend that might not be so sunny, but yeah, they're the Sun to you. They're kind of a very positive person around you, this friend. So yes, talk to this person. The first card you have for your present is the Nine of Swords. So this is a message to you. Again, this is a reminder to you to try not to be trapped in one way of thinking. I see you were trying to convince this person in the Hanged Man to change, to move and do all this thing. But I think you might be trapped in the way that you're explaining this to them. Because if you look at this, obviously this is really important to you. It's troubling you. And that's why I was saying that you should talk to this friend and have a sunnier point of view after speaking with them, because this is obviously really bothering you in the Nine of Swords. Look at these swords. They're kind of interlinked. And this might be forming a cage around you in a way, like this poor woman in this card, stopping you from seeing things in a more kind of fluid way. It's kind of trapping you in this. So what I'm seeing with this is I'm seeing this is a reminder to you to try and compromise, find some balance, like I was seeing in the Star card. Don't see things like their side, my side. You can see things in a more fluid way. So what I mean by that is try and combine some elements. Maybe you can compromise. Maybe you can move to somewhere that is in between these two places. Maybe you can be there some of the time, somewhere else another time. Maybe there's a third way. So don't think of this in the way of, oh, they think this, I disagree. I think this, they disagree with me. There might be a third way, and you might be able to combine your thoughts on this as well. So think of this in a more, think outside of the normal way of thinking. Think of something new around this as well. And also take your mind off this as well sometimes. Don't be locked in to thinking about this all the time. Go back to the Sun card. Talk to this friend as well. Get some relief. The next card you have for your present is the Knight of Swords. So, yeah, I'm seeing a couple of things in this card. I'm seeing that, yeah, you're still trying to convince this person. It's obviously very, very important to you. Just be very careful that you don't turn them off completely by rushing in and saying, but what about this? But what about that? But what about this? Like the Knight of Swords. Don't be too forceful with this. Get some relief, get some rest from this. When you speak to this person about this in the Hanged Man, be a lot calmer. Be a lot more careful in the way you speak to them. The other thing I see in this card is that this friend of yours, this is what I'm seeing in the Sun card. I see a kind of, this friend of yours is like the sun. They're beautiful to you. They make you feel positive. They help you in times of need and things like that. They have a little bit of a shadow beside them. Now, I think they might be in a relationship that you see isn't right for them. They might have just gotten into a new relationship with a new person. You know them, but not that well. And I think you might be seeing something not quite right about this person. Now, I think you might come to talk. It's like you're thinking about, I'd love to tell this person, I'd like to tell this friend how I'm feeling about this person they're with. I don't feel right. I think they're dodgy. They're not quite right. There's something not right about them. But I don't want to rush in and tell them and kind of spoil the friendship and have them mad at me and have all these problems. So you might be thinking as well as to how am I going to tackle this? How am I going to tell this friend without ruining everything and rushing in out of control like the Knight of Swords. So that might be something that's in the back of your mind as well. So this friend of yours is a really good person to talk to, but you might also have this kind of little shadow around that as well. That's what I'm seeing. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of drama, a lot of problems in your head and in this reading, a lot of conflict, a lot of things going on with you at this time. And you're not the only one. Other people's readings, I think Virgo as well, have had a lot of stress in their reading, a lot of kind of stress and a lot of confusion. So I'm sorry if this is confusing for you. I'm trying to kind of articulate as best as I can. So the last card you have for your present is the Empress. So yes, you have all of these struggles on your mind, all of these kind of things with this friend and this person you're trying to convince and everything else. But I think that this is reminding you the Empress is looking after herself. She's relaxed. She's in her garden. She's not stressed at all. She's caring. She's nurturing. Take care of yourself. Take a rest from this thing in your head. Also talk to this friend in the Sun card. Get some relief. Have a break. Have a holiday. Go somewhere. Go into a garden. Sit down. Wear some comfortable clothes like this Empress. Get your head out of all of this stress for a while. Just take a break in your head. The other thing I'm seeing in this card is, because if you look at how beautiful this Empress is, I think someone's really admiring you. I think someone thinks you are very attractive. Now, this is outside of this person in the Hanged Man, who I think you're probably in a relationship with or something like that. This other person who's admiring you, they might be in the workplace. I think obviously they think you're very attractive. You might not even realize this because you have so many other problems occupying your mind. I think that this might be a friend or a work colleague, and I think you might be talking to this person about a few of your problems, not in detail like you are with this friend, but I think you might be telling some things just to get it off your chest. I think this person's kind of listening to you, they're thinking about you, and they might be thinking, I'd love to step in and rescue this person. I'm attracted to this person. I want to be in a relationship with this person. This is what they're thinking about you. I would love to be their knight in shining armor, like the Knight of Swords, and I'd like to come and rescue them and take them away from all of this. So they might be saying little things to you when they're speaking to you, and you might not be realizing this because you're so stressed, you have so much else on your mind. They might be saying things like you might be having a conversation about, oh, I'm trying to get this person to move and they're just not listening. This is the person I'm with, and oh, if only they'd listen, if only they'd do this, I'd feel so much better. And they might say things to you, oh, isn't that terrible? Why are they doing that? If I was them, I wouldn't act like that. I'd act like this. So they're trying to convince you that they're a better option for you than this person. Now, again, I was seeing in the Star card, or no, maybe it was, I was seeing in the Sun card that you're very loyal to them. You love them, you care for them, you're never going to leave them. You're not going to do this no matter what happens. So I don't think this person has a chance with you in the Empress card. But this is what they're trying to do. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to kind of move in from being friends and kind of make a move and kind of try to look like there's someone who can rescue you from all of this. But you don't need rescuing, and you don't even need someone to kind of help you with this. You already have this friend. So, and also I think, if you find a middle ground with this person, you can probably solve this so that you can both be happy anyway. So I think they're really kind of, I think they're in a dead end, actually. The first card you have for your future is Justice. So yes, again, this is about this person in the Empress card. I think that they're listening to you, this friend or this colleague, and they're saying to you, oh, isn't this terrible what you're going through? It's so terrible. I'll help you. I'll get justice for you. I'll rescue you. I'll help you. This is so terrible. I'll sort this all out for you. I'll solve all your problems for you. I'll get this justice for you. I'll weigh it all up and I'll help you. All of that kind of thing. So I don't think you need this rescuer. You don't need this knight in shining armor. You already have someone who you're with. They're a bit frustrating, they're a bit annoying, they're not doing what you want, but you don't need someone else. You're happy as you are. So again, I think this person is just kind of at a dead end, trying to chase you. And I think you still might not realize that this is how they're feeling about you. They might tell you at some time in the future that this is how they feel about you, but I don't think they're going to tell you now. But I think even if they did tell you at this time, I don't think, you're not going to act on it. You're not going to kind of go off with this colleague or this friend or whoever this is. You're really not. But, they're trying. They're going to keep on trying, I think. So the next card you have for your future is the Seven of Swords. Yes. Right. What I'm seeing in this card is this is someone who is around this friend of yours, this shady person that is like the shade on the sun. They're like the shade on the side of the sun. You don't quite trust this person. You think something's off with this person. You want to tell your friend about this, but you don't want to rush in like the Knight of Swords, and you don't want to spoil your friendship. This is what I'm seeing. So, I think what you're going to do now, this sounds horrible, but this isn't sneaky behavior on your part. I think you might go and search for them a little bit. You might be checking up on them. You might be looking on social media or finding out what's up on this person. This person isn't all that they say they are, and I think you know that. And I think what you're doing is you're going to do a search on them, and I think you might find some information about them that's going to prove you right. Now, I don't think you're going to confront this person, this shade on the sun, this horrible person who's around your friend. You're not going to confront them. I think you're going to sit on this information for a while, and I think then you're going to kind of think about how you're going to tell this friend of yours in a very careful, very compassionate way, in a very sensitive way, but you are going to tell them you're a very good friend, you're a very loyal friend. I can see that in the Sun card. You are going to tell them this eventually, but I think it's going to take you a long time for you to kind of work out how you're going to do this. But you're definitely going to find out something about this person, and you're definitely going to find out something that shows that they aren't the person they say they are, and they're not really being very honest. That's what I'm seeing in this card. Yes, I won't say any more about that. That's all I'm seeing in that card. So the last card you have for your future is the Fool. So yes, following your instincts about this person, this shady person, you did or you are going to follow your instincts, and this is what's going to happen, and they're right. And your instincts are always right. Always follow your instincts. I always say that with everything. Now, this card can also be about letting go of things. I think this is when you're finally going to let go of this tug of war, this right and wrong with this person who you're in a relationship, or whoever this is. And you're kind of saying, I'm right, and they're saying, I'm right. And you're going to kind of calm down out of this. I think you're going to realize that you can't force anyone to change, and the only thing you can change is your kind of attitude toward this. And I think what will happen is you will find some middle ground with this person. I don't think you're going to rush off and kind of do anything crazy, which is what sometimes the Fool can be about. But let's just say that this Fool is quite often about traveling, about moving. This Fool has all his belongings on his stick, on his back, he's carrying along, and he's moving and traveling. So I'm seeing that you will, if traveling is what this is in the Hanged Man, you will get your way eventually. You will get what you want. But there's going to be some compromise that goes into it, and you're going to be quite happy to do that compromise. And the fact that you are compromising is going to be why this person is going to agree to this eventually. So it is going to work out for you in the end. So all of that kind of stress that you were going through in the Nine of Swords is all going to be worth it. If you do find this third way, this middle ground, this balance, this compromise, that's what I'm seeing in this reading.